Gavin Newsom, your governor, is up to something. Gruesome Newsom, California's governor, has proposed a 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that would restrict gun ownership, raising the minimum age to buy a firearm for 18 to 21, and mandating universal background checks and banning civilians from buying assault weapons. I mean, is he going to run? Is he going to run for president? What's he doing? What's he cooking, dude? He's fucking gruesome as shit. I mean, it's not going to happen, but she will admit to doing something illegal, so they're actually doing her a favor. I mean, it doesn't matter. This is still being televised. You know what I mean? Gavin Newsom, unironically, if he had a better grasp on combating homelessness in his state, the state that I live in, by normalizing, the housing market conditions a little bit and genuinely utilizing the billions of dollars already raised for said initiatives, on expanding like affordable housing, public housing initiatives. If he did that, he could genuinely become president. Like on the Democratic ticket. Because he's charismatic, he's tall, he's handsome, he's got all that shit. Even Republican presidents and Republican senators every now and then say nice things about him. He's in charge of a gigantic economy. He can still win without doing shit. Charismatic KW. Gavin Newsom is like a... Bro, Gavin Newsom literally looks like he's already a president in a TV show. He's literally TV show president quality. Like, but like not a good TV show, you know what I mean? Like a shitty TV show. Will the "Don't California My Country" take be too much for America? That's why I said the homelessness is like a gigantic burden on his national prospects. Because every single time California is mentioned, no one ever thinks about like the positive aspects of living in California. And I don't even just mean like the weather or whatever. And there's so much wrong with California. Don't misunderstand me, right? But in comparison to other cities, California gets some things decently right. But anytime California is mentioned, people think it's like a hellscape. People think that there is like lawlessness run amok. It's a hellscape. And there's like homeless people literally trying to fucking stab you left and right. So if you were able to somehow get ahead of that by turning that around in a couple years by funding public housing initiatives or a housing first policy for combating homelessness, which, by the way, ironically, Californians pretty much vote for every single motherfucking election on ballots, and all of that money just sits there, okay? This is one of the parts of California politics that never gets mentioned. It's not like California doesn't have money to combat homelessness by building houses, okay? As a matter of fact, every fucking couple of years, there is yet another ballot initiative that says, oh, we're going to tax a little bit extra off the top, and we're going to raise like $20 billion to build public housing or to build like affordable housing, okay? And then they never do it. And then the money is there, they just never follow through with it. It's similar to like, Project Homekey, right? There are a lot of like good ideas, but, and these good ideas are positive and these good ideas are popular and people vote for them, but then they never actually follow through on they never end up following through on these initiatives. What stops it? Developers. Duh. California is completely and utterly captive to real estate developers, just like any other state with like major cities in it. Blue, red, doesn't matter. Real estate developers and like homeowners association coalitions, they basically own, like landlords basically own these states, these cities especially, and therefore the state. That is the major reason why you can't really get any kind of you can't really get anything done. You can't really do anything about it. And no popular person in a position of power has actually just said, fuck you guys, we're going to follow through on this. This is what the people want. You know what I mean? It has yet to happen. The SF Bay Area is even worse. Yes. San Francisco Bay Area is horrible. Los Angeles is horrible. Mike B thinks the Midwest D's will hate Newsom because he's too Californian. I think as long as he was, as long as he took care of like one of the biggest examples of like abject failure, which is homelessness, and like the crime narrative that actually is cultivated through homelessness, because homelessness is visible poverty. And everyone at the end of the day understands that poverty is directly associated with crime. You see it in your fucking eye. You see it right in front of you, right? When people say, oh, crime is out of control in Los Angeles, they don't fucking mean that like people are getting shot on the streets. If that was your understanding of crime, you would literally look to red states, because red states objectively have higher rates of violent crime than blue states, okay? When people say crime has run amok in a certain city, they're actually just talking about there's homeless people everywhere, okay? They're doing petty crimes, like maybe they're stealing stuff, or maybe they're just like existing on the sidewalk, and that is what they think is crime. That's how they understand crime, okay? So the reality is the most effective way to combat both the crime narrative, like California crime is running rampant narrative, and also homelessness in general, is by building affordable and public housing. If you do that, you can tackle both of these things, both of these issues. People are entering homelessness far faster than any amount of affordable housing gets built. Yeah, that's because affordable or public housing initiatives, again, never come to fruition in the country, especially in places like California, where, like I said, real estate developers have completely captured politics. Real estate developers and landlords will not allow that to come to fruition. Or even, like I said, Project Homekey was something that I mentioned, right? Project Homekey, or Project Roomkey, was supposed to take over defunct and abandoned hotels that are no longer in business, or hotels that are like underwater, and give them money to convert these hotels to shelter, permanent shelter for homeless people. Okay? And they tried it. It was like relatively successful in one area, and then it didn't fucking matter. It was just like it got yeeted because Chamber of Commerce kicks in. They say, no, we can't do this. This hurts the hospitality industry across the board. Now nobody's going to want to go to a hotel where they think homeless people live there. Like, they use whatever they can. And, you know, even if you're in the hospitality industry, for example, you probably still own a bunch of real estate. So then you still have a interest in stopping these kinds of initiatives from going through, you know. And it also works. Look, it also works. Look, this guy hasn't even seen the fucking narrative, but he's going along with it. He said it would be a matter of months to those shelters to become crack houses. Look at that. County News Center from San Diego. Board paves way to leverage state Homekey and local funding for new housing developments. County supervisors approved setting aside $32 million in state and county funds Tuesday to help quickly create housing for people experiencing homelessness or who are at risk of homelessness, and $4.6 million a year in services to support them. This is nothing. California's Homekey program was started in 2020 to provide funding to local governments to rapidly buy housing options to help the most vulnerable during the COVID-19 pandemic. It is now in its third round of funding. The county is partnering with San Diego Housing Commission and the city of San Diego to apply for the Homekey funding to buy and rehabilitate housing, focusing on 4 development projects. The county's $32 million would come from $24.5 million in federal American Rescue Plan funds and $7.5 million from the county's Behavioral Health Impact Fund. Captain Walkback, is it Homekey or Roomkey? I thought it was Project Roomkey, but it's Project Homekey. Who gives a shit? Like, okay, I said the wrong name. Like, you get the point. You get the initiative, right? Like, that's what matters here. Wouldn't getting homeless people off the streets make the cities more marketable, thus increasing travel and property values? Yes, but that is long-term gains. And unfortunately, under capitalism, they can never we can never actually do long-term benefits because everyone is in it for the short-term gains. Okay? Everyone only cares about short-term profits. They're like, well, I don't want this. I don't want this to happen because, like, in the short term, this might actually lower real estate prices, more housing availability. Will lower real estate prices. We can't have that happen. NIMBYs completely have captured the conversation as aggressively as like Republicans have on Twitter when it comes to anything that is even remotely tangentially related to like trans people or queer people in general. Anytime someone talks about fucking LGBT pride or gay people on Twitter, you're going to get like 100 blue checkmark dudes in your replies being like, you're a pedophile groomer, okay? It's kind of like that. Anytime you talk about homelessness, there is 1,000, I imagine like 1,000 blue checkmark Andys coming in and being like, this is ruining the culture. This is violent. This is dangerous. It's like, brother, it's literally harm reduction. It is infinitely more violent and dangerous by your own metrics to just like leave homeless people on the streets. And it is demonstrably effective. All around the world, similar housing first policies have been very successful in combating homelessness. No rich people want a long-term solution. They want a short-term killing solution. Yeah. Their solutions are fucking insane. They're rich people, when you ask them like what to do about homelessness, they literally will tell you concentration camps. It's also 100% class solidarity and understanding. They'll end up losing more overall, and the money of people at the top gets better distributed, but it isn't even that deep. Most of the funding comes from everyday shoppers. Is insane. Yeah. It's just yet another instance of like rich people harming themselves in the long run because they can't let go of like short-term profits. What? What the fuck are you talking about? Who says that? Give me something remotely close to that. They literally say concentration camps. I don't know if you know this, but the dude who ran for mayor of Los Angeles was literally a real estate baron. Okay. And his main homelessness combating initiative was, and I'm saying this pretty much verbatim, okay? Take the homeless people and put them in camps away from the city. Man's name is Rick Caruso. He built the motherfucking Grove, okay? And many other things in Los Angeles. His idea of combating homelessness was camps. By the way, Karen Bass's idea is not that different either. Candidate Rick Caruso makes homelessness and crime his main campaign focus. Says homelessness is the biggest problem we have in the city right now, the billionaire developer said. With the election, the leader in the second largest city in the United States just a month away, Caruso said he would declare a state of emergency to give himself the authority to homeless shelters. The homeless shelters will help him achieve this goal of housing 30,000 homeless people within 300 days of his office. It's a complicated problem. Distill it down to multiple solutions. Build the best and brightest team. Okay, this stuff is just like bullshit. Oh, everyone says that. Oh, yeah, we're going to have the smartest guys on it. Okay, got it. State of emergency was declared for the pandemic. Legal experts said it's not the same as asking 15 council members to give up their power to make land use decisions. Despite Caruso's optimism, Blasey said 15 council members come together to back this idea is far-fetched. Yeah, one of Caruso's ideas for tackling the homelessness crisis was to convert 300 surplus parcels of land in Los Angeles County into temporary homeless shelters. What do you think a temporary homeless shelter is? Majority of these are in commercial and industrial areas, so we got a lot of options to do it. Like he's saying, we would take pits, like barren pits, in commercial and industrial areas and convert them into camps where we concentrate the homeless people into these camps. Anyway, and then he talks about how police recruitment is dropped, blah, blah, blah. We got to fucking make cops. We got to give more money to the cops, all this kind of shit. You know? Out of sight, out of mind. Anyway, so Cali did camps before, went pretty good. Yeah, no, it's just concentrating individuals in an area, in a camp, is just, those are just two words that you put together and it immediately spells trouble, in my opinion. Perhaps I'm wrong to be so aggressive in this with this take, but it just doesn't strike me as like a humane, ethical, or even long-term sustainable concept. Oh, she's pressing buttons. Calm down. No! Anyway, guys, love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.